As I was leaving Los Angeles the last time, I was on the freeway and I was passing the area of 26 and Figueroa, where there's a Harbor Freight store, which is like a home improvement store. Now, this Harbor Freight is actually the former Gateway supermarkets. Mr. and Mrs. LaBianca, as you know, were victims of the helter-skelter murders of 1969. And Mr. LaBianca was part owner of the Gateway supermarkets, of which there were 4 at the time. And Mrs. LaBianca actually had a boutique in the same little strip mall at that time. So I decided to go in because I'd actually never seen it before. And I was curious. You could see that it used to be an old supermarket, what it looked like. And I'm going to read to you the LaBianca's homicide report and the report about Mr. LaBianca. And this isn't victim shaming, but this is very interesting, I think. So Mr. LaBianca, 44 years old, 6 feet tall, no criminal record. He was born and raised in Los Angeles. He was the son and founder of the state wholesale grocery company, Antonio LaBianca, and has been active in the business since the completion of his education. He had been the president of the Gateway Markets, a family-owned and controlled corporation, since 1952. Gateway operates 4 retail supermarkets located at on the following streets. I'm not going to bother with the addresses, but I'm going to tell you, I looked them all up today, and all 4 buildings are still there, which is pretty interesting. You can actually, 4 Gateway markets that are no longer Gateways, they're no longer supermarkets, but all 4 of them are still there. There was one on Cypress Avenue in Los Angeles, one on Verdugo Road in Los Angeles, and one on Rosemary Boulevard in San Gabriel, and this one that I'm going to go into in a second. He's been described by relatives and friends as quiet, conservative by nature, never discussing personal or financial matters. Now, this is the key part. So, since 1964, investigators revealed he had misappropriated approximately $200,000 from the company treasury. This apparently was to finance his chronic gambling habits, thoroughbred horse racing in particular. Even though the LaBiancas lived expensively, their properties were extensively mortgaged. Personal loans totaling $30,000. The only connection between the LaBiancas and the underworld, because there's always been talk of them being involved with possibly organized crime. Mr. LaBianca's previous association as a member of the board of directors of the Hollywood National Bank on Hollywood Boulevard. According to LAPD and LASO intelligence, the bank was backed by, quote, hoodlum money. Investigation at this time has not substantiated the connection between the underworld and the bank, although 3 board members were indicted and convicted of a kiting scheme. So it's interesting. It's very interesting. I looked at their probate files, and they're a mess. So many people claim to the estate claimed money owed to them, including that supermarket of $170,000 almost, and a lot of other places. Mrs. LaBianca, they say she was worth $2.5 million. It's been published that, but I can only find about $60,000 in her will. They say that they owned apartments, and they were getting rent from the apartments, and she had this boutique, but we're not talking $2.5 million. So I really don't know where that number even comes from, but it's been thrown around quite a bit. I know that Mr. LaBianca's estate, there was activity as far as finalizing it up to 1975. So I'm not sure how it all panned out. I just want to see the inside of the supermarket. So join me as I step inside the Gateway supermarket, was owned by the LaBianca family. I remember when supermarkets used to give out dictionaries and encyclopedias. Here's the Webster's Dictionary, available at the Gateway Markets. Mrs. LaBianca also had her shop in there. Mrs. LaBianca had a place called the Boutique Carriage in here too. Forget the address of it. I wonder if it's even open. This parking lot's pretty hopping. Been in here once before, but I never took any pictures. Kind of can see the setup at the supermarket. Well, I guess any market, but you can see like where the deli would have been or the dairy would have been. It looks like a supermarket to me. So maybe that's where the offices were back then, up there. So Mr. LaBianca was busted for embezzling from this place. He had 10% ownership of it, and he had embezzled quite a lot of money. And it was his own family that did it, that owned the market, so it was a bit shitty. And he had a hard time with money, which is why part of the reason, you know, he had a lot of debt. Although Mrs. LaBianca was very successful in her business, Mr. LaBianca had a lot of debt. And they thought it might have actually, he gambled, and he had a horse that nobody knew about, a race horse. So they thought originally that it might have been a hit on Mr. LaBianca because he had some sort of taps, I'll say, just tapping with organized crime, they say. I don't want to say he was in the mob, but I think he knew people like that. And so that originally is what they thought, because they couldn't find any logic to what the why anyone would you know, kill them. Cashier number 1, please. Mrs. LaBianca's boutique was at 2425 Figueroa, within that strip mall. So it was the Gateway, it's still called the Gateway Plaza, I believe. And it was called the Gateway Circle Pharmacy for a while. And it's still a pharmacy today, but that was where her boutique was. So anyway, a glimpse into their lives. So thank you for joining me, and until next time.